Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and there is a lot going on in crypto land right now, my friends. I'm going to share with you perspective from 7 different XRP chart analysts in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam, and what you're going to find is that the recurring theme is broad expectation that XRP is absolutely ready to bounce from here. You'll also see that altcoins haven't been this perfectly positioned in several years. That kind of bodes well if you know anything about crypto markets. Alt season, my friends. The timing is perfect. The structures in various charts, absolutely perfect. And we've got some potential fuel tomorrow. Oh, you should definitely expect volatility tomorrow. It'd be surprising if we don't get some sort of volatility. And I'm going to talk about that as well in this video. It's because of the Fed here. And we should talk a little bit about what that might mean for XRP and broader crypto markets here. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it is 6:43 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. XRP is $3.02. Bitcoin at $115,341. So another day of mostly sideways trading, but don't expect it to stay here for long. I definitely don't. To beat on that drum a little bit, take a look at this post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment. And they posted this just a couple hours ago. They wrote the following. The highly anticipated FOMC meeting in the U.S. Kicks off today and will conclude tomorrow with an anticipated result of interest rates being cut by 25 basis points. And of course, the FOMC is the Federal Open Market Committee, so that is the Fed of the United States. And when they come to these decisions about what their posturing is and if they're going to take action or not take action, it's done at these FOMC meetings. And I think they're always 2 days. If there's exceptions to that, maybe I just don't recall that. But the meeting started today. It's going to conclude tomorrow. After it concludes tomorrow, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, will be speaking at a press conference, and there's absolutely broad expectation that we are going to be getting a cut. Let me proceed with what Santiment has to say now. We are seeing the impact of this in Bitcoin's social metrics. Bullish comments are outnumbering bearish comments, making up 64% of comments across social media. This is the highest ratio of crowd greed since July 10th. Now, historically, markets move the opposite direction of retail's expectations. This doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin and altcoins are due for a correction simply because the crowd is leaning bullish, but it does mean that expectations should be tempered of a huge surge after rate cuts are confirmed tomorrow. And if the unexpected happens and rates are not cut, there could be a quick correction that catches retailers off guard. Okay, yeah, so I will say that as far as there being some sort of rate cut, which is what the market wants, this is the reason you should care if you hold crypto. If there's a rate cut, the market does want that. If there's not, could be some amount, even if it's a short-term panic, there could be a bit of that. But I will just tell you this, given that it's broadly expected that there's going to be at least a 25 basis point cut from the Fed, that's 0.25% interest rate, that means it's already priced in. Everybody knows this. So if you get just that news, is the market really going to rally on that? Well, I have a hard time believing that. You could even have a little bit of a sell-off if there's not something more bullish. So what would make it surge? That in conjunction with framing from Jerome Powell at that press conference tomorrow, indicating that there will be additional cuts. And anything along those lines will be perceived as bullish. So I'm not going to make a prediction. I don't know what he's going to say tomorrow, and therefore I'll tell you straight up, I don't know how the market's going to react tomorrow. I'm just telling you, if it's just a 25 basis points cut, and that's it, and there's no additional indication that you're going to see something beyond that for the remainder of the year, you might have some problems. Now, in all likelihood, like what I would think is that you're probably going to see there's going to be a series of cuts. So the first one announced tomorrow, and then maybe another 25 basis points cut for October, and then another one in December. If that ends up happening, the market might find that to be favorable. But either way, there's always volatility on FOMC days, and this is one of crucial importance. Part of the reason I say that is also because the market is so perfectly teed up. So as long as Jerome Powell doesn't screw this up for us, I think that you really could, in relatively short order, see some serious fireworks for XRP and the broader crypto market. So here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. This is the Others chart. The Others chart is the name of the chart that shows the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding the top 10. So it gives you a good feel for what's happening with alts without the largest of the large caps. So XRP is not in here, but the asset class moves in tandem. So I always find it highly relevant. And also, if you're like me, you do hold some coins that are outside of the top 10. So anyway, Crypto Wizard wrote the following: "It's brewing, only a matter of time. After 4 years, Others is getting closer. Many capitulate. Meanwhile, an explosive breakout is on the horizon. Patience pays." So you're right. And this is another chart where you can see you're right at a crucial moment. You're right at a key resistance level. It says alt season starts above this particular level right here for those of you looking at the screen. Resistance. It's right, and I see this on so many charts, and there are other charts, it depends what you're looking at, that are showing that they've already broken out above. Some are already coming back down to retest that breakout, but pretty much everything's sitting in that range. I mean, you can look at, even in traditional finance, you can look at the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, Dow Jones, Russell 2000, they're all in that range. And Russell 2000, it's the only one of those four I just cited that hasn't broken out yet, but that bad boy looks like it's about to. That's right below its resistance level, probably a little over 1% from its all-time high from years ago. And that's perfect confluence for what's happening here with altcoins. And when the Russell 2000 goes historically, that is when alts go, because it signals an increased appetite for risk on assets. That's why. That's why you see this correlation between the stock market, especially when you roll further out the risk curve, along with the crypto market. Crypto market, just broadly speaking, altcoins. And by the way, you know what? Do you know what the Others dominance is? It's not very big, folks. So think about this. So just FYI, I mean, I think most of you understand that Bitcoin's dominance. It's over half the market. It's probably about 58% as I record this. If you lump Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP together, did you know that makes up 75% of the value in the crypto market? 75% market dominance between Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. I'm using a round number, but that's about right. That's massive from 3 coins, and there are tens of thousands of coins, but just those top 3 have that much of the market because XRP obviously is an early winner of the crypto space. Did you know that the Others chart, so the other top altcoins, it's only about 8%. Look at this, 8.06% of the market. That's it. Did you know it was that tiny? But it can blast off. So if you look at the 2017 bull run, I think this number is correct. I think the dominance for Others back then was about 2%. Not surprising that, and that's before it rocketed, just to be clear. In 2017, massive bull run. So yes, it's 4 times bigger than that now, but there are also way more altcoins. At the end of 2017, I think there were only like 1,600 altcoins, and now there's like tens of thousands. So not surprising the dominance is higher, but still only 8%. So what I will tell you is there is so little money in these coins, and I'm sure, again, it doesn't mean you have to go to like micro caps or even tiny caps, small caps to fit in. I'm talking about like your HBAR, your Flare, other coins in the top 125 that are just aren't in the top 10. I know that a lot of you listening have coins in those buckets. I sure as hell do. I'm telling you, the reason you can get crazy multiplier effects for those also is because there's so little money in them, it doesn't take much flowing in to get ridiculous life-changing wealth from those also. And what I'm telling you is that we're seeing confluence. And I got a bunch of stuff about XRP, just hang on a sec. But it's about to go. At the same time, Others is so obviously teed up. At the same time, something's obviously going to happen with Bitcoin. At the same time, on a macro scale, look at what's happening in traditional finance with the stock market. So perfectly teed up. Then you've got the FOMC tomorrow. I mean, in theory, it could go disastrously wrong tomorrow, but I doubt, even if there's some sort of correction, like it'd be short-lived. And there's a really good chance we actually do rally if we get some really awesome news from Jerome Powell. And that's just the way the world works. I think it's stupid that we sit here waiting to hear from one man and then the markets do what they do, and it's either my net worth goes up or down based on what this one dude says. I think that's dumb as hell, but it is what it is. Either way, I think this thing's going to continue. Let markets digest the news after they happen. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache. This is Others denominated in Bitcoin. So you can see that for a span of years now, Others, so that broadly speaking altcoins, have been falling in value against Bitcoin, but Mustache is arguing this is a falling wedge pattern, and he believes this thing's about to break out. Another analyst calling for this. So he says, I can't stop staring at this falling wedge for altcoins that has been forming for over 4 years. Once this breaks out, we will see such violent moves for alts that many here haven't yet experienced. 2017/2021 once again, in my opinion. Yes, spot on. It would be bizarre if for the first time in history we don't have a freaking alt season. And so all the greedy people from the past that wanted to take profit and rotate into alts to maximize gains, yeah, we don't have that human behavior anymore. That part of our DNA no longer exists. Yeah, I don't think so, folks. It's coming. And global liquidity has been increasing. You know that Bitcoin and thus the entire crypto market, crypto asset class, it follows. It just lags behind by a few months. That's it. It's still coming. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Galaxy, XRP USD here. Speaking of, the current rhyming with the past, he says XRP will definitely have its time. Similarities between now and cycle of 2017 through 2018 are hard to ignore. And so he's just arguing here structurally what's happening now, even though it's been, in his mind, obviously playing out for like just about twice as long, it looks the same. And you know what happened in 2017. Even if you're new, you've probably heard the stories, right? XRP was the #1 performing coin in the entire crypto asset class. And from the bottom to the top of the market, it increased by close to something like 80,000%. And I'm not being flippant about that. It was about that percentage, about 80,000%. And so it's not that we'd have the 80,000% increase again. There's more money in it now, so the percentage won't be as high, but it'll still be a life change. It'll still be wild. It's and XRP, not surprisingly, top performing coin out of the top 100 since November. It was artificially suppressed. So it had this much longer to consolidate because the SEC decided to attack it, and now it's picking up steam, and it's back at #3 in market cap, where it belongs until it takes out ETH, which it may do. It certainly could here. Here's a post from Chart Nerd. It said XRP 1.618 fib extension equals $27. So he's still beating this drum of pretty impressive double-digit price action for XRP this market cycle. He does believe, with strong conviction, he keeps repeating, sharing posts like this, he has strong conviction that that's the type of price action we're going to see. And I don't make price predictions, but I do not think that's crazy. I mean, maybe the more conservative expectations are right, $8 to $10, like the blockchain backer, he could be. But it depends on how much money flows in the space. And the truth is nobody knows for sure. But I know that ain't crazy. $27? Mm-mm. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Ali Martinez. He says, XRP is ready to bounce as the TD sequential flashed a buy signal. By the way, and so I'm just sharing with you a handful of examples in this video, but this is what I kept seeing again and again and again from XRP chart analysts is, wow, strength here, looking good. So as long as the whole market doesn't tank, then I think that you can expect XRP to kind of hang out here for a little bit. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK, echoing the same type of sentiment. It says, XRP closed above our previous weekly all-time high and arguably broke our current downtrend. Hear that, folks? He thinks that, very good chance, XRP has broken the downtrend. So you know that it hit new all-time high in July. Fantastic to see it at $3.65. Fell back down to what, about $2.70-ish cents. And it's been moving up recently. And I've been highlighting that in my videos. So analysts have been like, hey, it looks like it's moving up. Might be breaking above this trend line. And now he's saying, arguably, yeah, it's broken the downtrend. And I am seeing that from a lot of analysts. Here's another example. This is from eGreg Crypto. And this chart analyst had a long thread, which if I have more time, I may come back to revisit the rest of it. But to make at least a salient point in line with the rest of what I'm sharing with you in this video, I just thought I'd share with you this portion of his thread. This is the XRP USD chart, of course. And he says, it's clear that we've achieved a breakout, and now XRP is in the process of retesting that breakout point. However, as time goes on, the upper edge of the channel will have a decreasing slope. This means that the retest won't match the initial breakout price, but will align with the lower side of the slope, which is completely normal. So short term, positioned pretty well, I think it's fair to say, right? Here's chart analyst, the great Matsby, XRP USD chart, and he says XRP is still going to the moon after it's done testing all your patience. It's back above the final boss angle. Yet another analyst sharing that message. And then there was this post. This is actually from yesterday morning. This is from CW. The price of XRP at the time looks like it was $2.99. So we're a hair above that. But look what he noted here. He said, XRP has touched a buy wall. And, he had a separate post the day before that where he's like, hey, just so you know, guys, the buy wall, I thought he was talking more like 270. Look, it's a range, though, like 295 up to 299-ish. And so he just kind of noted, hey, It's pretty much where we are, and it did dip lower than that. Like XRP did get to $2.97, mind you. But he said it had touched the buy wall. Isn't it fascinating? It hits that buy wall, and then it's just holding strong. It's just holding strong at this point. So again, as long as the rest of the market doesn't tank, the analysts that are saying, yeah, it looks like the downtrend's broken, they very well may be correct. We're going to know more by tomorrow. We'll definitely know more by tomorrow because something's going to happen. We're going to find out what Powell says. And if we really do get news that there's going to be three rate cuts, maybe equaling total 75 basis points, 0.75%, the market might perceive that as very favorable because it looks like the only thing that's super priced in is that first rate cut. I don't think the market's like that could be a sell the news event if that happens, honestly. So we just need to see the rest of what he has to say. Either way, though, regardless, if you're not bullish here, you're doing it wrong. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.